Shall we ever know the ultimate truth about the mystery of the human existence? This short movie is about the question, shall we, the human race of the planet Earth, Homo sapiens sapiens with bicameral brain, ever know the ultimate truth about the mystery of the human existence? Albert Einstein had said that the real nature of things we shall never know, never. Einstein is a person, says Stefan, whose opinion I respect and cherish. In this case, however, intuitively, I could have not accepted Einstein's opinion, and I have dealt with the topic in my fiction fantasy novel, the Faustef trilogy. As to the Homo sapiens sapiens, mortal humans of the Code of Existence 5, as found in the trilogy, an opinion, similar to Einstein's, is offered in the novel. Dr. Faustef is transmuted from a mortal human of the Code 5 into a mortal human of the Code 13, the highest code on the ladder of existence, by QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being. Dr. Faustef experiences can move through 11D time and 11D space, but he cannot enter the timeless world unless guided by QUALB the Giver. The closest experience that we, mortals of the Code 5, can have on the timeless world is in our dreams. Dr. Faustef is a mortal human being of the Code 13, meaning he possesses absolute existence, almost absolute existence, to be exact. Only QUALB possesses absolute existence. QUALB can move through timeless world and time world. Accordingly, QUALB is the everlasting human being. Dr. Faustef is promoted to the Master Guardian of the creation, the 22 sibling universes, by QUALB the Giver. Yet, Faustef loves to come to his beloved planet Earth and spend some quality time as disguised with the members of Homo sapiens sapiens race, the mortals of the Code 5. He can change his appearance, age, sex, and similar with ease, and look like any human being. On the above drawing, Faustef takes the likeness of the Alexander Stefan. Many an immortal human of the Code 6, up to the Code 12, walks upon the earth at this very moment. This work is Stefan's intellectual exercise on the existence of the human race. This is merely Stefan's opinion, and, as such, Stefan might be wrong. All of us human beings have this topic, more or less, in our minds, hearts, and guts. Some of us write about it, some of us simply do not care to do so, and some of us are simply too busy with getting done more important things in a time-limited human life.
Einstein on religion. Marx had chosen poorly. Nietzsche had failed miserably. In defense of Einstein's cosmic religious feeling. By Vladislav Alexander Stefan.
Based on the Alexander Stefan, The Open World Manifesto. New Order Scientific Technological. QUALB cooperates. Stefan University Press. La Jolla, California, 2009. QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being. From Stefan's Faustef trilogy. Of course, says Stefan, Marx and Nietzsche are great men of the human race. They are the treasure of the human race. Einstein on religion. Cosmic religious feeling. Marx had chosen poorly. Nietzsche had failed miserably. Fictional Dr. Faustef on QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being, and the QUALB Code. Deism, a walk-away Supreme Being of Newton, Jefferson, Einstein, and Darwin. Panendeism, a non-walk-away Supreme Being of Stefan's Dr. Faustef. Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton is comfortable with deism, whereby the Supreme Being has created the clockwork-like universe and walked away for good. Now, great Sir Isaac can study the universe in peace, assured that nobody, even the Supreme Being, will mess around with his calculations. Thomas Jefferson. A revolutionary spirited great American, Thomas Jefferson, with a deep respect for the Supreme Being, embraces Deism as the wisdom that the world is solely in the hands of human being, and it is human beings' responsibility to make it ever better. Charles Darwin. Darwin's theory of evolution is often used by some as the proof for the non-existence of the Supreme Being. Charles Darwin himself had never denied the existence of the Supreme Being, and had said that his theory of evolution has nothing to do with the existence, or otherwise, of the Supreme Being. Darwin's attitude toward the Supreme Being, it seems to me, is the one of a deist who focuses on the laws of nature with no interfering Supreme Being. Here is what Charles Darwin, in 1880, writes to Karl Marx. Direct arguments against Christianity and theism hardly have any effect on the public. Freedom of thought will be best promoted by that gradual enlightening of human understanding which follows the progress of science. I have therefore always avoided writing about religion, and have confined myself to science. C. S. J. Gould, Ever Since Darwin, page 26. Albert Einstein. In his childhood years, Einstein, born in 1879, had been a very religious person. Later on, it was not so. In 1927, for example, Einstein states,
I cannot conceive of personal God, such as in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, who would directly influence the actions of individuals.
As to science and religion, Einstein says,
Science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind.
This statement has been used passionately by both the believers and non-believers to make of Einstein the one of their very own. The Alexander Stefan thus spoke, Einstein on Life and Living. Wisdom of Albert Einstein in the Context, Stefan University Press, La Jolla, California, 2011. Victor Frederick Weisskopf, who collaborated with Einstein on social-political issues and played music with Einstein, says similar to Einstein, human existence is based on two pillars, compassion and knowledge. Compassion without knowledge is ineffective. Knowledge without compassion is inhumane. V. Stefan, Physics and Society, page 5. Einstein had stated that he does not believe in the Supreme Being who interferes in human affairs. This sounds to me like deism, a walk-away Supreme Being. Einstein focuses on his cosmic religious feeling, with no interfering Supreme Being. One leading American cleric is not impressed with Einstein's cosmic religious feeling, with no interfering Supreme Being, and refers to Einstein's term, cosmic religious feeling, as comic religious feeling. Jamie Sayan, Einstein in America, page 155. Panendeism, a non-walk-away Supreme Being, in Stefan's fiction fantasy novel, The Faustef Trilogy. In my fiction fantasy novel, The Faustef Trilogy, says Stefan, QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being, is the everlasting human being. Only QUALB the Giver is the everlasting human being. He is the creator of all that there is. But, not only that, in the flow of time, QUALB the Giver creates perpetually, and he does help the human race to advance perpetually. Vladislav Alexander Stefan, The Faustef Trilogy, Faustef, the master guardian of the creation. The 22 Sibling Universes. Stefan University Press, La Jolla, California, 2011. In particular, QUALB the Giver helps Dr. Faustef, immortal human being of the Code 5, a physicist from the planet Earth. QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being, transmutes Faustef into immortal human being of the code 13, the highest code on the ladder of existence. In addition, QUALB the Giver promotes Dr. Faustef into the master guardian of the creation, the 22 sibling universes. Obviously, the everlasting and the immortal are different concepts. The everlasting, of course, is also the immortal, but the immortal, of course, is not the everlasting. Currently, you may encounter on the internet the statements of both laymen and learned ones that science, physics, is on the level, so as it can be concluded that our universe is in no need whatsoever of the Supreme Being, the Creator. As to the laymen, they are royally misinformed. As to the learned ones, they are merely expressing their opinions, not the fact, on the status of the contemporary science, physics, in regard to religion, and the Supreme Being. Marx had said, "Religion is the opium of the masses." Marx had proclaimed that religion is the opium of the masses, and offered self-made opium, the Marxism. When I was in Russia, says Stefan, from 1977 to 1981, I was associated with the heavy-duty intellectual circles. The opinion was, almost unanimous, that the major weak point of Marxism is its unfavorable stance toward religions. Marx had chosen poorly. Vladislav Alexander Stefan, The Faustef Trilogy, Faustef, the master guardian of the creation, the 22 sibling universes. Stefan, University Press, La Jolla, California, 2011. Marxism, with the religion as the opium of the masses, could have not survived. In Western world, it has survived itself by embracing religion and turning into cultural Marxism. Nietzsche breaks the news: God is dead. In Nietzsche's existentialism, without God, a human being is a loner in a crowd society, who can turn for help, not to God, but only to self, as overman. The Marx attitude toward religion is essentially the elimination of religion, as if human being needs no religion. As a member of society, a human being blends with it, losing personal ID. Society is the Supreme Being, QUALB the Giver to a human being. Hearing Nietzsche saying, God is dead, QUALB the Giver, the Supreme Being, swiftly responds, I will use, says QUALB the Giver, Mark Twain's words of 1897, the report of my death was an exaggeration. Do you think God is dead? Asks Breezy, Lenz. Here is, says Stefan, what Breezy, Lenz, thinks about whether God is dead.
Do you think God is dead?
What?
God. Do you think he's dead?
Didn't even know he was sick.
You know what I think, and I've been giving it a lot of thought lately. I don't know if I can actually buy the fact that there's somebody up there. I mean, somebody up there. No, I've come to the conclusion it's a lot simpler than that. You know what I mean?
No.
If you allow me, I will make a digression here, connecting art and physics. I do like to do that. In addition of being very well known in the entertainment industry, the last name, Lenz, is famous in physics, too, due to the Lenz law, formulated in 1834 by Heinrich Lenz on induced electric current. You can see this when you unplug an electric device. The collapsing magnetic field induces electric current, manifested as a spark. Then, you should be reminded of a charming Miss Lenz and to turn her lens. It is interesting that Einstein, as a high school student, 1894 or 1895, not knowing of the Lenz work, addressed the Lenz topic. Einstein asked, how does the magnetic field, generated when the current is turned on, turned off, affect the surrounding ether? How, in turn, does this magnetic field affect the current itself? Page 131. The Samson riddle, in a new key. The riddle of human existence. I dare, says Stefan, come hell or a high water, to make use of the Samson riddle, to solve the riddle of human existence, at least pro tempore. The riddle Samson posed to the Philistines is as follows. From the eater came something to eat. From the strong one came something sweet. In the Hebrew Bible, the answer to the riddle is honey from the lion's carcass. Honey is something to eat, and something sweet. And lion is the eater, and something strong. The Alexander Stefan's version of the Samson riddle, based on the concepts of the timeless world, and the time world, reads as follows. Out of the eater. The timeless world, the hereafter, the world that eats us all, eventually. Came into the time world, the world we are experiencing. Something to eat. Intuitive revelations that leaders can eat. And out of the strong. The leader. Came something sweet. Culture, civilization, supported by the people. Without their support, the leader's work withers down. And dies out. Leaders trigger history, and the people, every human being, the followers, make history. This describes the circle-like permanent exodus of Homo sapiens sapiens, Mortals Code 5 and Faustef trilogy, from the time world into the timeless world, death, and back from the timeless world to the time world, birth through female womb. Things happen around you with no control on your side, but what you can control is your reaction to the events, so you control and create the world, so to speak. Your reaction, your control of the world, so to speak, is in the Schopenhauer curbed free will mode. In other words, you follow the Schopenhauer distinction between need, ought to do, versus want, wish to do. Namely, what you need, ought to, can, do, and what you want, wish, will, to do. In this form, says Stefan, the solution of the riddle reveals, it seems to me, the essence of the unfolding of the human race, the mechanism of the world's both revolutionary changes and mild morphing.